Hi, I'm Alan Ross. I'm the managing editor of APC Media, or APC Technology Productions, Transformer Technology, Power Systems Technology. We are here at the RE Plus 2023 event in Las Vegas. This thing is huge. It seems like the battery storage people have come here. So we've got wind, solar, battery storage, and everything in between. But hope you enjoy these interviews. I love interviewing the technology of the future, and enjoy. My next guest is Bob Gowell. He is with Amandarry.
Yep.
And you're going to tell us a little bit about what they do later.
Okay.
But first of all, you've been relatively new to the industry, but you're not new to materials. So talk a little bit about your background and how you got involved in the industry.
I'm an engineer. I spent 40 years in the corporate
What kind
world.
of an engineer?
Believe it or not, a packaging engineer.
Really?
At Michigan State School of Packaging.
No, Michigan State. Don't say that. There's a lot going on at Michigan State right now.
That hurts.
I know.
In a lot of fronts. But I started out really supporting manufacturing in a variety of roles in sales and marketing, and I went back to commercial, from commercial back to technical. So I spent roughly 25 years in product development.
Okay.
In developing new polymers for new market applications. Some of it was in solar, some of it was in wire and cable, which has a connection to the energy industry. I had a large critical role in DuPont and Dow at the end. And so I had a wonderful career. And a friend of mine who started Amandarry came back to me a year ago and said, "What are you doing?" "I want to try to bring my business and my company back to the US."
Okay. We're going to talk about the company a little bit, but since you got involved with him, you got to be thinking about what are the challenges in the industry right now that you see?
I think it's super exciting to be here. I mean, you look at the amount of growth, it's a bad word, but energy going on here. It's at a reflection point. There's a lot of startups, there's a lot of new technology. It's interesting. I went to some of the meet and greets yesterday. How to get financing? How do I start my company? How do I get an audience for what I have? I think I have something very good. I call it the inventor's dilemma.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's very prevalent here. There's a lot of really neat things that people want to go do, and then you have the big guys that are coming in from Asia, the battery manufacturers, the cathode manufacturers, the PV people. So I think we're trying, through government subsidies to build our own value chain here. So that's the exciting part to me. But at the same time, history says how many of those companies are truly going to make it. There's a very small percentage of startups that actually make it.
Right.
And you get a variety of different numbers at different times. So if you're a startup, and what are the challenges right now is how do you get an audience? I'm helping my friend bring new technology here that it's not being used in our industry today here.
Right.
And so how do you get an audience? And so
let me follow up on that, because there's two audiences you're trying to get. In the startup world, one of them is I got to get financing to be able to scale whatever it is I did. And the other one is I've got a product, I need to scale it, and I need to find customers or collaborators to do it with. And you're right, many of the people here are not going to survive.
So I come from a school of market backed. So what are we trying to do and what am I trying to do right now? Does anybody care? I have a solution. I think it's really good. But does the industry want it? Do they care? And so most successes, and I've been part of failures and successes in my career, more failures, by the way, than successes. And it's right now, I think the biggest thing when I talk to people, do they really have what people want? It's development of a value proposition and a business plan. So you talk about getting funding, in my mind, what's your value proposition? Right. Does anybody really care and anybody going to pay you for it? Can you make money at it?
Right.
And so then if you have that story, then you go back, I don't care if it's VC or government funding, you build a story and say what you want to do and why you want to do it and why you're going to win. Yeah. And so what are your competitive advantages from a technology and from a business model? So I always say, why am I going to win?
We've done some interviews with people who they've gone through that. They've raised their first or second or third round of funding, and they've taken their proprietary or scalable technology, and now they have a product. They have a customer. They have something that they're bringing to market. They have a different problem in the fact that the winners are going to be the people that are part of the full solution. So you got wind, solar. Generation is taking care of itself, right? There's enough wind and solar projects coming in. It's now the storage component that is the big challenge. That's a big story here at RE Plus 2023. It's the storage. Talk a little bit about, because you mentioned cathode. Cathode to me has something to do with anode, cathode, and storage.
Integral component of the battery, right? So today, majority of the technology is lithium based and lead acid based, right? So let's talk about lithium. And so there's a variety of different battery structures based off lithium. You have high energy density NMC type catalysts. We make cathode in that industry today in China. We're very successful with it. We have a very unique process, we have a very good cathode, very consistent product. So battery manufacturers today are very interested in what you have from a lithium based. And people, a variety of, from big and small, are invested in our country, in our supply chain here in cathode. Okay? Our first value proposition, I thought, would be around lithium cathode. But some of the big guys are coming in. The other product, so you go back to, say, that battery, and right now there's questions around safety, there's questions around sustainability, there's questions around performance, cyclability, temperature performance. And so you go back to the energy storage question that you ask is very good. It said, what's going to give us these large way to give us consistent, reliable energy out of renewables? And so I think lithium has a very good value proposition. It's got some challenges. So cathode is an integral part of that. So if you look at a lithium ion battery, the primary, you have lithium, you have cobalt, you have nickel, okay, as a primary component of that. You have an anode. So sodium is an option that we're trying to bring in. It's based primarily on soda ash, which is not a critical raw material. 90% of that is in the US. You have iron and you have manganese. So those three primary components are different than a lithium battery, and they're all based here, readily available minerals. And they give very good energy density, very similar to LFP batteries, which are used quite a bit in storage. So very similar performance from an energy density perspective. Not as good as NMC, lithium, but very, 150 and from an energy density perspective. So where is the industry going and what does it need? I think it's still defining that. Sodium is doing very well in China. Amandarry, our first 3 lines are up and running. We make 3,000 kilotons. In the next year, we're adding 3 more. Primarily around energy storage, some into 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, some into power supplies where cold temperature performance is differentiated. So it gets very good performance at cold temperatures. So as our supply chain and our grid needs evolve, we're trying to understand, where does our value proposition sit? Does people really care? And there's also a lot of new technologies around lithium that are making it safer, that are making the energy density better cyclability. Okay? Some of those technologies are here too. So the challenge that we've talked about is, where is it going to settle in? Sodium has been very interesting to me yesterday and this morning. Several people stopped in our booth and said, sodium doesn't work. Well, wait a minute. I had customers tell me that. One of the larger customers came back and said, wow, this stuff actually works, Bob. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty neat. So, what's going to win? It's early. I think sodium has a very good value proposition. It works in existing infrastructure. If you make lithium ion batteries today, you can make a sodium ion battery today. Okay? So it doesn't require all new assets.
So you mentioned your friend who's trying to bring his company to North America. That's Amandarry. You've already got production in China. You've already got a proven technology in China, and now you're trying to bring it here. I love the term, the value prop for people who care. They got to care about it.
Value proposition for somebody that's going to want to buy it. I mean, I've been around technology development my whole life, and we made a lot of things that we thought were really cool, but the industry didn't care. Nobody wanted to pay for it. And so where are we at today? And the other thing I would say is I had a global job for 20 years in product development, and every market is different. what might have worked here didn't work somewhere else, or vice versa. Just because it's successful in China today doesn't mean it'll be successful here. And that's what we're really trying to figure out. So our challenge is, what should our model be? Should we license? We're trying to find partners or licensees or go it alone. It's open.
Right.
So I think, for us, something that this is what it makes to me is very interesting is people are looking for solutions. They're coming to the booth with problems.
Right.
And trying to figure out, do we have an answer?
And one of the things, they're looking for solutions that are scalable, solutions. I mean, here's the thing. I want something that is new technology, but it has to be proven. So you're bringing something to market that does that. I want to go specifically to Amandarry.
Okay.
So you have a marketing and sales office here, right?
Yes.
Are you going to do production here, or are you going to do distribution?
Potentially.
Okay.
I think that's the model we're trying to define right now.
Okay.
Our business plan says we have the next 3 to 6 months to say, what are we going to do? And what I've said to our owners is, let's figure out where it fits in the industry. Okay. Right now, we're bringing cathode and cells in to seed the market, to really figure out if that value proposition is real.
And what are you finding out?
High level of interest, high level of skepticism. Okay. One of my favorite stories was when I had a large development customer. They're saying, all right, we'll try it, Bob. We know you. We'll try it. Oh, wow. Like I said, it works.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to think about this. And what are we going to do? And so it could dramatically change their business model. And so what is that answer? And so to me, you got to go into these things wide open in your mind. I think if you predefine what it should look like, you'll fail. Because I've already changed here in the 6 or 9 months I've been doing this, what I thought the opening would be based on feedback from the market.
Right. Yeah, your job is a unique job, something that's proven somewhere else, especially China. Now you got to come and say, hey, this works here too.
Here's an interesting fact for me,
okay,
personally. I spent 25 years going to China. A lot of miles. I was taking technology here and fitting it there. In the elastomers business, the wire and cable business. Now, for the very first time, I'm looking at technology from China and how does it fit here. It's almost reversed. And China has been highly engaged in this space for 10 years. And they have the infrastructure, they have a lot of very good technology. We're playing catch up as an industry here. And I think that's hard to admit for some people, but it's a reality. And I think they'll be successful. I'm hoping Amandarry can be successful, but I'll be very honest with the industry and my friend to say, I'm not sure it's ready, or is it? Are we too early? A lot of technology fails because the timing's off.
Yeah.
Okay? Again, that's part of one of the inventor's dilemmas.
I used to, from the inventor's dilemma, I used to use the term, it is best to be first to be second, because first oftentimes fails, and then you can say, that didn't work, the market didn't accept it, so let me be second. It's not like...
Are you a fast follower, or are you an innovator and a leader?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what is Amandarry?
I think it's an innovator in certain spaces, especially I think our strength, by the way, as I mentioned earlier, is our process. Okay. The team over there has done an unbelievable job developing a fully contained, fully automated process. And it's low capital, low energy cost to run it. I'm very confident that we have one, if not the lowest cost production. Okay, to make lithium and sodium. That works. Right. Our customers like its consistency, its quality, our ability to manage moisture in our process. So we make our sodium, as an example, is a layered oxide cathode. And a lot of people have tried to make sodium for a long time and not been successful.
And that's why I got a bad rap.
Yeah, that's why I got a bad rap. And there's still people trying today, and there's people being successful. I mean, one of the largest battery manufacturers in the world, CATL, is launching batteries today based on sodium. We've all seen the presses, and I'm happy for the industry that says, hey, if you look at, I've heard a statistic, I don't know if it's true, but this is why we need to develop the recycle stream. But lithium is, there's a big new finding in the US in the volcanoes, but it's pretty short supply. There's 1,000 times more sodium than lithium in the Earth's crust. And it's readily mineable, and it's low cost, and it's environmentally. So I want it to be successful, but I think lithium's a very good product. We make lithium-based products. And so each are gonna find their home, in my opinion. But I think there's some other very good technologies out there that are coming also. That to me is the most exciting part of the show. Being a little bit of a tech geek, is seeing all these new solutions coming forward. It'll be very interesting to look back in 10 or 20 years and see what really did win.
I think the winners are going to be those that understand collaboration, understand the complexity of this marketplace, government throwing a lot of big dollars at it, and they tend to go to big dollar companies that can do that. But the idea of my keyword from this RE Plus 2023 is they better learn collaboration, they better find collaborative partners on either side, and enter the market where the market gives you an entrance.
Yes,
okay.
That's your opening. But collaboration is huge. Finding those right, I call strategic partners that want to collaborate, and that's what I'm trying to do here.
You're not finding customers, you're looking for strategic partners.
I'm looking for strategic partners to collaborate with, and I don't care if today if it's a battery rack stack manufacturer, if it's a battery manufacturer. I'm open, and Amandarry is open, to say what's going to win here. There's a lot of money going into new battery startups. Do I really want to go build a battery plant when there's a whole bunch going on when I have a technology that might fit in their existing assets?
Right. Okay, well, good luck.
Well,
thank you for coming and being an interviewee. We appreciate it very much, Bob.
I hope your audience and you appreciate it. I did. I learned.